Gitcoin, but I also wrote a book entitled Greenpill back in 2022. Greenpill has grown a lot. Lots of people share my vision of using crypto to regenerate the world, to build a more pro-social economic ecosystem. And I'm just so honored to be here with you today. It means so much that this vision is shared all across the world, but especially here in Turkey. So thank you so much. And I just want to start by maybe doing a round of applause for the Greenpill Turkey organizers and for Altcoin Turk for hosting us. So thank you so much. Okay, well, I'm going to give maybe a 10 or 15 minute presentation, and then we can just have a discussion from there. So I want to talk about the Greenpill Network, which is a network of people that believe in this vision of using crypto for regen, and talk about how we're doing it. So last year, Balaji Srivasan wrote a book about what he calls network states, which are basically online communities that form around a common mission and then create the ability to self-govern, crowdfund resources, and then eventually get recognition from existing states. He calls that a network state. I'm not really comfortable with calling Greenpill a network state because I don't think that we're really trying to crowdfund land or achieve diplomatic recognition from existing states. But I do think that I like to call us a network society. So basically, if we could build a network society that exports regenerative digital infrastructure to the world, then that's what I think that we're doing with the Greenpill Network. So basically, my work at Gitcoin is about building digital infrastructure to fund what matters in your community, and that's an example of, I think, regenerative digital infrastructure. But since writing Greenpill and being connected with other founders of regen movements and apps, I found that there's a plurality, there's many pieces of digital infrastructure in the world that we could export to the world. And I think that there's a possibility that we could move into a more adjacent regenerative future. So this is a graphic from the Greenpill book, and it sort of talks about the future, time going on. And the projected future that we're moving towards is crypto being used for trading and for gambling and things like that. And so what if there was a plausible or possible adjacent regenerative crypto future where we do things like fund public goods, fund charitable causes, and we could move the ecosystem in that direction. And so basically, I think that this is another way of thinking about what the Greenpill Network is doing. It's about building pro-topian, pro-social ecosystem in the Web3 ecosystem. And I don't want this to be a too moral of a thing. I think it's fine that there's financial infrastructure and that there's speculation and investments, but I also think that we want to build more regenerative digital infrastructure as the ecosystem builds. And so the Greenpill Network can kind of take us from the projected degen future into the plausible regen future. So maybe I'll talk about the evolution of the Greenpill meme and what it has come to today. And we'll end with some of the stuff that we're doing in Greenpill v3 today. So Greenpill v1 was just a book that I self-published in 2022 about how crypto could regenerate the world. And we talk about this mission of solving coordination failures, whether that coordination failure is biodiversity collapse or climate change, global coordination failures like those, to local coordination failures in local cities, and every city is different. And I was really pleased to see that this vision of using crypto to solve these problems resonated with many other people in the world. Because when I founded Gitcoin in 2017, it was very, very lonely. There was no one in crypto that was focused on these type of issues. And it's just so nice today that the person who's trying to build a movement or trying to create a community that is around public goods or regeneration now has access to the Greenpill Network, but also other networks like Regens Unite or RefiDAO or like the Gitcoin infrastructure. So I got introduced about a year ago to some people who are helping me organize the Greenpill Network podcast. And so basically we now, in addition to the book, have a podcast where we've done 150 episodes about Greenpill themes, regen themes, and have explored themes of crypto in the global south, crypto for identity, crypto for funding public goods, and we're showing the people who are actually doing it and helping them tell their stories. And then we've also created a Discord channel where everyone can connect. You can get a link at greenpill.network and get access to the Discord channel. And then that was the launch of greenpill.network. So we went from using just the word Greenpill to greenpill.network, and that represents the evolution of just a meme to a network built around the meme and the mission of regenerating the world and the crypto ecosystem. So basically, sort of the vision of the Greenpill Network is cosmolocal. That's a word that means that it's a symbiosis between the global and the local. So basically, if we can build mechanisms that fund what matters, like Gitcoin, and we can have access to world-class software engineering talent and cryptography and design at the global level, and then we can use it at the local level to fund what matters in your communities. People who have local context that have legitimacy locally are going to be the ones who are applying that locally. And so the symbiosis of the global and the local is something that I think that we can do differently in Web3, as opposed to the Web2 giants like Google and Facebook that are just spying on us and extracting from our local communities by polarizing us and selling ads against those services. With crypto, we have global open source software and world-class programming talent that we can pull into the local, and y'all can be sovereign in Turkey or in Istanbul in your local community and apply these tools in your local community. So that was sort of the formation of the Greenpill.network. I'm very happy to say that Greenpill Network V3 has been announced. And so the idea is just to keep doing what's working. We're going to keep doing the podcast. We're going to keep on doing the Discord. But now we're just going to basically be funding the chapters using Gitcoin grants. So basically more chapters and funding with Gitcoin grants is going to be a theme in 2024. And I'm really excited to move from talking about just the theory of how crypto could regenerate the world to actually practicing that. So moving from the theoretical to the practical, moving from the global to the local, and starting to practice it. And so I think there's going to be some opportunities to cross-pollinate what's working in region A towards region B to region C, and we're hopefully going to see cross-pollination and more bottoms-up coordination coming from the chapters. So that's my little build of how the Greenpill Network has been evolving, and maybe from here I'll talk into some of the projects that we're going to be doing over the next several months with the Greenpill.network. The first is the podcast. You can go to Greenpill.network and you can subscribe to it. We've done 150 episodes so far. Again, the themes are things as varied as civil resistance, or using crypto to regenerate the climate, or about to end biodiversity collapse, and just about telling those stories of the people who are doing it. And so I'm going to move from me hosting the podcast to a network of people who are hosting the podcast. We're still figuring out exactly what that looks like, but I'm looking to sort of decentralize my persona and decentralize who I am in the network to a series of co-hosts who are going to help me tell the stories. And so we're going to have the main podcast, but also invite people to create satellite podcasts to the Greenpill Network, and I'll use my presence and my persona to sort of elevate the people who are doing the best work with the podcast. The next thing that I want to talk about is the regen guides, which are basically designed to help teach skills about how to do local regeneration. So the local regen guide is something that the Greenpill Network has helped put together, and I'm very happy to say that we've got articles in the regen guide that are about, let's see if I can find it, public spaces, public goods, nonprofits and NFTs, digital solidarity, touching grass, embracing our connection with nature. There's a lot of really great articles that have been written by members of the local Greenpill networks, and my hope is that people read this as much as they read Greenpill V1, the one that I wrote, and that we're going from the theory that was in the book that I wrote to the practice of the local. And I think that every 6 months or 12 months, we're going to publish a series of local regen guides and hopefully cross-pollinate what's working across the chapters. So this is a pilot of the local regen guides, and I think Ray Bankless is around here somewhere. Thank you, Ray, for doing this. Fund him on Gitcoin for the work that he did, and I will pay the printing costs for the first one. But so get one of these tonight, and also go to greenpill.network. There's a link to the digital version of this that you can get as well. I guess, do we have enough copies for everyone, you think?
Right now, I think, yeah.
Okay, cool. Only take one if you're going to read it. That's my only ask. Don't just take it and put it in your bookshelf. Yeah, is there anything else to say about the regen guides?
No, that's good.
Okay, great. So that's the regen guides. Okay, let's get weird for a second. Okay, so stay with me here. This seems like a lot, and it is a lot, but it's going to be really powerful. So my vision for the cosmo-local nature of the Greenpill Network is that we're going to take the funding from Gitcoin grants, where we've got $1 million matching pool every quarter right now, and we're going to distribute it out to the Greenpill.network chapters. So basically, Gitcoin provides us the infrastructure to allocate funding to the Greenpill chapters. And so we're going to take funding from myself and from Gitcoin Round, and I think Arbitrum is running some sort of matching campaign where they'll double your matching pool just for running on Arbitrum. So there's money available in crypto. And we're going to use quadratic funding every quarter in order to fund local Greenpill chapters. So, and then from there, my hope is that the people who have context on the ground are going to know what needs to be done locally in their communities. Some communities might need bioregional regeneration. Some communities might need help funding the homeless. Some people might need other things in other communities. And the whole point of this mechanism is to give the local communities that have context of what is going to matter in their local communities the sovereignty to decide what they want to do in their local communities. But, if you wanted to pay it forward to your community by doing more quadratic funding rounds or more experiments from there, then I think that that's great for me. So basically, we're taking funding from myself and from Gitcoin, and then we're putting it into the local chapters, and hopefully the chapters are all starting to support each other with funding, but also starting to cross-pollinate ideas across the chapters. So the local regen guides will take the ideas of how you can regenerate your community locally and cross-pollinate them, and the Gitcoin rounds will take the tokens and allow us to cross-pollinate locally. So Gitcoin grants round 19 just started, and I think we've got a campaign that is being run soon. So we'll drop a link in the Discord for how you can fund the Greenpill chapters. Is that right, Sejal?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so that's how we're going to fund. We're going to fund things, and there's an experiment with a tool called hypercerts that we're going to be working with in this round. Hypercerts are basically, you can kind of think of them as a carbon credit, but for any type of impact. And so hypercerts are an NFT that lets you attest that you did something impactful. With a carbon credit, you can attest that you took 10 tons of carbon out of the atmosphere. But with a hypercert, you can attest that you walked 10 little old ladies across the street. You funded 10 months of open source software. You fixed 10 potholes in your community. So basically, they're a way to attest that you have had impact in your local community. And we've built an integration between Gitcoin grants, which is where people will fund work, and hypercerts, which is a tool for letting you represent that you've done impactful work. And hopefully, the end goal of this experiment is that we're funding not just our friends, or the things that we think have good vibes, but the things that actually have impact. So it's not perfect, it's just a pilot, but we're starting to play with having Greenpill hypercerts, and so keep a lookout for that as you're checking out the Gitcoin rounds. The last thing that I want to talk about before we break into discussion is that Sejal and others at Gitcoin are working on a round operator training program. So basically, we have taken 35 people from the crypto community and we've put them through an 8 to 10 week program to teach them how to use Gitcoin's tools to fund what matters in their local community. And so I think that there's a symbiosis between Greenpill, which is building a social movement to help regenerate the world, and Gitcoin, which is building tooling to help regenerate the world. And so I think that the end result of this, as we run these cohorts, will be more employment for people who are green-pilled, but also the ability to propagate more funding outwards from the crypto ecosystem to what matters. And so the first cohort we just completed, and we've got some round operators that are going to be running Gitcoin rounds. There will be another cohort coming up in 2024 to teach you how to do quadratic funding, but as Gitcoin launches, ability to do funding with hypercerts or retroactive public goods funding, we'll run more operator programs, and it's just an opportunity to earn money while supporting the causes that matter to you. So that's all I got. Thanks so much for having me.